Remy and Ivy had been married for several years, weathering the typical ups and downs that accompany a long-term relationship. However, Remy began to notice a troubling pattern emerging in Ivy's behavior, particularly whenever she didn't get her way. Instead of openly expressing her feelings or engaging in discussions, Ivy would emotionally withdraw. This withdrawal manifested itself in various ways, primarily through the withholding of intimacy. Initially, Remy perceived this behavior as a temporary mood or a need for personal space. However, as time passed, he came to understand that this withdrawal was a deliberate tactic Ivy employed to exert control over their interactions without raising her voice. In the early stages, Remy attempted to appease Ivy, often changing his mind on requests to restore harmony in their relationship. This created a cyclical pattern where Ivy would show affection only when her wishes were met, leading Remy to believe that compliance was the key to their happiness. However, as this pattern persisted, Remy began to feel increasingly manipulated and drained, as if he were constantly walking on eggshells to maintain peace. The situation escalated dramatically when Ivy fixated on a designer bag she deemed essential. While Remy understood and appreciated her desire for nice things, her expectation that he would simply agree to her requests without considering their financial constraints began to irritate him. When he calmly explained that he couldn't afford the bag at that moment, Ivy reacted with dramatic disappointment, slipping into the familiar cycle of silent treatment and emotional withdrawal. As Remy sat in contemplation, he realized that every conversation that felt like a battle. Compromise had been replaced by a sense of control and manipulation, and he felt trapped in a game he no longer wanted to play. When he reached out for affection that night, hoping to reconnect, Ivy's response was a firm "don't." This reaction was not just a dismissal. It was a calculated form of punishment, reinforcing the unhealthy cycle they were entangled in. In that moment of clarity, Remy resolved to break free from this emotional game. Instead of seeking Ivy's attention and approval, he redirected his energy towards himself, rekindling hobbies he had long neglected. He picked up his guitar, returned to reading books he loved, and focused on his physical well-being, not as a means of winning Ivy back, but for his own self-worth and happiness. This shift in focus allowed Remy to regain a sense of independence and confidence he had lost in the relationship. As he began to engage more with Ivy's friends and enjoy social outings without seeking her approval, a noticeable change occurred in their dynamic. Ivy, unaccustomed to seeing him so relaxed and self-assured, started to realize that her control over him was diminishing. Her friends began to take notice of Remy's transformation, which inadvertently drew their attention away from Ivy, causing her to feel anxious about losing him. Ivy's reaction to Remy's newfound confidence became increasingly evident. She started to dress up more, initiate conversations, and engage in activities that she had previously neglected, all the while testing whether Remy would revert to his old pattern of seeking her approval. The meals she prepared in her attempt to connect with him were no longer tied to demands for compliance. Instead, they reflected genuine attempts to bridge the emotional gap that had formed between them. Eventually, Ivy expressed her feelings about the growing distance in their relationship, marking a significant turning point. Remy listened attentively, recognizing this moment as crucial for their growth. Seizing the opportunity, he shared his own feelings, emphasizing that he loved her deeply but was no longer willing to engage in emotional games that had strained their marriage. This honest conversation led to a deeper understanding between them, with Ivy acknowledging the issues and expressing her willingness to change. This marked a new phase in their relationship. Remy recognized that he deserved a marriage rooted in mutual respect and genuine affection rather than manipulation and control. The transformative experience taught him the importance of setting boundaries and valuing his self-worth. He came to understand that love should not be transactional. It should be built on mutual care and support. As both partners made changes, they ultimately strengthened their marriage, fostering a partnership grounded in love, trust, and mutual respect. In reflecting on this experience, it becomes essential to consider whether affection used as leverage can truly be classified as love. Genuine love, after all, should not come with conditions or expectations. It should embody mutual care, acceptance, and support. For anyone finding themselves in a similar situation, it is crucial to evaluate the dynamics of the relationship and determine whether they align with personal values and needs. Sharing insights and experiences can provide valuable guidance in navigating the complex emotional landscapes of relationships, ultimately leading to healthier and more fulfilling connections.